Let me ask you a question. Are you a busy or a reactive product leader, or are you a strategic product leader? What do I mean by this? Busy product leaders are people that are driven by their environment, that they are moving forward and reacting to things that are happening in the organization and then adapting their behavior or their plans based on what it's maybe the latest news. Strategic product leaders, on the other hand, they are going to make sure that they are not driven by the environment, but that they're creating an environment that is going to improve and promote the success of the product and the success of the teams. Of course, they also will promote the success of the company. So how does this happen? Well, if you think about a reactive product leader, what they're going to be doing is that they're going to be people that probably are very busy. They're probably working really hard, so there's no bad intent in there, but they're just going to be driven by opportunities that they see. They see a ton of shiny objects that they could be running after. You probably have seen this. There's the latest idea from the CEO, the latest idea from a salesperson, the latest idea that they hear from a customer. They focus a ton of customer requests. And yes, you had to take those into account, but there's no vision. There's no high level intent. They are going to be in a very reactive position. They are going to also run a ton of experiments to try to validate different ideas, but there's not a plan. They are just trying to figure out what could stick. And you can get a successful product doing this, but probably it's not going to be that easy. They're also going to participate in ton of meetings. Well, if you're a product leader, you're going to participate in a ton of meetings no matter what. But they will focus primarily on catching up. They're going to be more in the reporting mode. I want to be reported and I want to understand what's going on. That's it. The problem with this attitude is that what they're doing is working very hard to fix a bad plan because there's no good plan in the beginning. There's no goal. And when there's no goal, there's no vision, there's no place where you want to reach with your product. Then you are just in a reactive way. And basically it's that bad plan that you had to be constantly fixing and trying to aim in a certain direction. Now, what happens then for the teams that work with them, and this can affect to basically all the teams, but especially the ones that depends more on the decisions of a product leader, product managers, designers, R&D, data people, they're going to find working with somebody like this, that is going to be confusing and erratic decisions are going to be made because new ideas are going to be thrown at them all the time to be taken forward and implemented, making planning, making roadmaps, making everything very complex and difficult to manage, and probably the likelihood of success is going to be low. When you think about a strategic product leader, on the other hand, they're going to have a clear goal. They know that they want to dominate a market with the product that they are creating. They are looking for scalability. They want to grow the market share that they have. For this, they're going to create strategies. They are going to create goals that are going to help the teams align. And they are also going to help the teams building frameworks, product operations that are going to help them really narrow down the decisions that they had to do, prioritize their work. They will also work together with the teams to make sure that the research of different opportunities is done. They're just not going to run research just because of the sake of running research to see what it sticks, but to make sure that what they are trying, those opportunities that they are trying to investigate are aligned with the goals and the strategies that they have. And they also will make sure that plans are actually delivered, that plans are implemented to make sure that we understand how we are going to face this, how we are going to get this idea first executed and then get it into the market. They will also participate in ton of meetings because as I said earlier, product leaders, they cannot skip a ton of meetings pretty on a daily basis. But their attitude is going to be quite different. They're not going to be just there to see what is happening. Of course, they will be there to see what's happening. Of course, they are going to be interested in reporting, not necessarily in the same way as a reactive product leader is, but they had to understand where things are on. But they're going to be there also to say no when it has to be said, or agree and align on how things are going to be done, because they are taking a different perspective of, I'm not here just to understand what's going on, I'm there also to frame things. And if they might be good ideas, but if they don't align with our goal or our vision, it's probably not an idea that we should be going after, because probably it's going to take us in different directions. It's going to complicate the product. It's going to try to make a product for many people. Doing products for many people for many use cases usually don't result in very good products. So strategic product leaders are also going to work hard, but they're going to work hard to find the right plan, to find the right plan that is going to drive them or their products and their teams to the right to the goal and the strategies that they have set in the beginning. Teams are going to find working with people like this more reasonable and predictable. Not necessarily because they are nicer people, they don't have to be necessarily nicer people, but they are going to be more reasonable in the way that they work. So it's going to be make it in a way easier to work with them, because they are less erratic and they are more predictable, understand, and it's easier to understand why they are making decisions. Whereas in the case of reactive product leaders, it's going to be more difficult to understand why a certain decision has been made. So look, there's no way to ensure the success of a product leader or the success of a product, but being strategic is going to help you to really focus the efforts that your teams, that you are doing, and that your company is doing, giving you more chances of success. When you try to do many things, especially in random directions, and especially when you start to try to make products that are for everybody, you are making a product that is going to be for nobody. That's usually what happens with a very reactive attitude. I'm going to also say this: a reactive product leader that is trying many different things might be good in the very beginning to see what it sticks. But on the long term, if you find a problem, if you find the success of an idea, then after that, being reactive usually is going to kill your product. I've been working in tech companies since the early 2000s and working in product roles since 2010. There are many challenges that product leaders go through every single day, and there are different questions that they had to find the answers to. Based on this, I created an intervention deck that is going to help you find those steps that are going to help you find the answers to the challenges that you have or your teams, your company has. If you're interested in learning more about these intervention decks, go check out the link that is in the description and in the pinned comment. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to hear more about how product leaders should work and what are the questions that they have to answer and what are the steps they have to take to really untangle those complex situations that they had to face. See you in the next one.